So, welcome to episode 9 of the Dauntless Discussion, and the title for this episode is very poor because it's basically just entering the closed beta for Dauntless Awakening, because today's the day that people will be starting to find out if they are accepted for the closed beta. Today's the day, and the beta will be launching on the 26th, which is roughly when I'll be releasing this podcast, so it's very exciting. Today, I'm very, very glad to share that I have ShireenPlays, who is joining me yet again. We're collabing again for another episode, so thank you, Shireen.
No, pleasure's all mine. Pleasure's all mine.
Awesome. Yeah, so me and Shireen, we I think this is about the third kind of episode, but I kind of cheated because on one of the early episodes of this podcast, I'd asked if you wanted to share maybe your opinions on a few questions. I can't even remember what those questions were, and you did that, and that was really great. And then I actually joined you for a stream, which I stole from my podcast and shared it on my channel. So, it suited the purpose, I guess. And then I thought, you know what, I'm enjoying the last few episodes. I enjoyed having Eyes Fluffy, and then we had Swift and Deadly. And the way that I presented those podcasts, I thought, you know what, I think Shireen deserves an introduction much like those two guys. So, I think this is a perfect opportunity to maybe learn a little bit more about you, Shireen, if that's okay. So what got you into Dauntless? Why are you still playing here and there after all this time for following a huge drought in content, if you wouldn't mind?
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, thank you for inviting me. Again, it's absolutely my pleasure. I've actually been watching your videos and podcasts for the last 2 or 3 years, I think.
Wow.
I literally typed in Dauntless lore in YouTube, and then you came up, and I was like, oh, okay, this guy actually knows what he's talking about.
Yeah,
I've always been interested in the NPCs and stuff, and I was like, finally, someone's actually doing something.
I've noticed if you type in Dauntless, you have to scroll for a long time to find me, but if you type in Dauntless lore, it pops up quite quickly. So.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, how I started Dauntless was I got my Nintendo Switch, and that came with the Pokemon Shield. I played through that, and I was like, you know what, I'm kind of getting bored. I want to play another MMO, because I've played like League of Legends in the past, CSGO in the past. I was like, I want something to play on my Nintendo Switch. So I went to the eShop, I kept scrolling, and I saw this thing called Dauntless. I was like, what is this? Like, I don't know. Put it away. I was like, you know what, let me just download it and see what it is. And literally, I was hooked within the first, 10 hours of playing it. And I've been playing it ever since. And, I just wanted to... Basically, the main thing about it is that I wanted to kind of slow the Minecraft videos on my channel down, because I am originally a Minecraft YouTuber, like a Minecraft tutorials YouTuber, and I was like, you know what, it's kind of getting a little bit boring, it's getting a little bit stale. I don't really like the trajectory of where Mojang is taking Minecraft.
Yeah, so
I was like, you know what, let me just change my content into I didn't want it to be all Dauntless, that wasn't the plan. But I started on the Springtide event of 2020, 2019, something like that. And literally my first video got a couple hundred views in the first day. I was like, oh, it's like the first week, I think. And I was like, oh, okay, this might be interesting.
Yeah,
and then I did something I rarely do, which is I bought one of the, I can't remember what the bundle was called, but it was like an introductory bundle. Got the orb intro.
Yeah, I think it was the equivalent to £5 or something. And
I was like, I gotta buy it. I love this game so much. So I bought it, and I was like, I was hooked, man. I was hooked. And then slowly but surely, I stopped doing Minecraft content, dove straight head into Dauntless, and then that's basically it. And then obviously lockdown happened, and unfortunately I was unfairly dismissed from my job at the time. Later found out that it was quite a shady company, actually. And then once I was unemployed, I dove again straight into Dauntless, and it basically revived my YouTube channel. It got me remonetized, and now I have a bit of money on the side that I can use for content and stuff, and it has been absolutely amazing. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that's watched my videos, all of the content creators like yourself that have come over to my videos and said, hey, what's up, great videos and stuff. It's just been a crazy journey with this game, and I think that's the main reason I love it as well. Like, the game itself is amazing, but the community around it is just so special. and I have a really like special place in my heart for the community in the game. So yeah, that's thank you to everyone. Like, it's all of you watching my videos and stuff that really, made this happen. So yeah, thank you.
That's so really well put. It really is. Your story is very similar actually, initially to Swift and Deadly's actually, in the sense that he got a Nintendo Switch and then he was playing Pokemon and then he was looking for something else in the eShop and came across Dauntless. It's quite similar actually, but and I know you've talked in the past about things you dealt with and you coped with through the COVID pandemic, and I think that's something that resonates with quite a lot of Dauntless players. We know this isn't the best game in the world. We know, it's not the most beautiful game in the world. We know it's got its issues, but it's almost like a nostalgia. It's like a trauma bond of a game. It
just has that something special. Like I don't know. It's hard to explain it. If you haven't played Dauntless, it's hard to kind of explain like why we love the game so much. The only other game that's kind of made me feel like this is like Destiny and a game called Spellbreak that unfortunately got shut down. I think it was last year. But it's just that sense of community, the sense of like you're progressing through something and you're seeing yourself progress as well. For example, like I remember the first time I went to a pursuit with a Rift Stalker. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm dying every like 5 hits or whatever.
And that was a really difficult behemoth. It really was in the early days.
Oh my gosh. And I was like, what, how is this even possible? And then I finally did. I was like, yes, this is what the game's about. It's about progressing, making the builds, like, watching videos and seeing if other people can do it better. And I remember my first time ever, like, basically soloing a Charog as well. I remember I was in a pursuit with like 3 other random people. We were like high levels of danger. 3 of them went down. I was like, oh, I have to do it by myself now. Okay. And then it took me a while to do it because I was still low level. But like the what's they call it? The endomorphins, the feeling you get when you defeat a behemoth. It's just like wow. And it's like that's why I kept going back to it, as well as the community as well.
Totally agree. And I still get it sometimes. I mean, when I finally got that Dark Harvest crown, or when I finally got on the leaderboards for the trial after about half a year of trying, it's such a rewarding feeling, which you rarely get with modern gaming. You really do. So, thank you so much for sharing that. And I can't state it enough. ShireenPlays is a huge part of the Dauntless community. I've never known anyone with such enthusiasm sharing some of these updates. You need to watch your videos, and when you do, you just cannot stop smiling. So, for those of you that have not heard of Shireen, I think most people who are on my channel probably have. But if you haven't, get over to her channel, check out her content, like and subscribe because it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Of course. So, there hasn't been too much going on of late in terms of new information. However, I've managed to pick together some interesting topics. It wasn't easy, I have to say. I had to look at some older dev leaks and things like that. So there wasn't too much to dive into. But I've managed to find some interesting topics to talk about, thankfully. And more interestingly, of course, is that the closed beta for Dauntless: The Awakening, well, the date of the deadline for signing up for that was back on the 15th of September, and the access confirmation is starting today. So that's when people are going to start finding out if they've been selected for the closed beta, which is today, and the beta launches on the 26th of September. So although there's not a lot of information just now, it is an exciting time for the PC players, maybe not the console players, but it is exciting. Yeah.
Definitely.
So I mean, I'm hoping that I get selected. It won't be the end of the world if I don't. It's going to be interesting. I've not took part in many closed betas before. So logging on and seeing the game in a new state and then going back to playing it, maybe I want to do like the Dark Harvest event or something like that on the old Dauntless. It's going to be quite confusing, I would imagine.
Yeah, probably. Dude. I want to be a part of the closed beta so bad. I can't tell you, like, oh my gosh. Like I've been saying in my videos, like I just want to see the new behemoth in action. I want to see the Crudge in action. I want to see the new weapons and stuff because, don't get me wrong, the dev blogs have been great. They've been, very well done, well written, and they've given us like videos and, it's just I want to see it in the game.
Well,
I just want to see it.
thankfully they won't have a filter on it because apparently
Yeah.
you're allowed to share anything. You have freedom of
Yeah.
access to share anything. So you're going to see a lot of videos, you're going to see a lot of streams, you're going to see a lot of that new content, whether you're playing the closed beta or not, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait for those. Like, I hope people just post videos and pictures, and then we'll like comment on them and stuff.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I can't even put into words how excited I am. I just want them to succeed, like, so badly. I really do. Especially as I mentioned in our previous live stream, like, they've been through some stuff in the last couple of years. Phoenix Labs has been really like in the dirt with their development and their games and Fae Farm and stuff. So they really need this to be successful. They need us as a community. They need new players, most of all. Like, it's good for us to be playing and, OGs coming back hopefully as well, but they need new players to spread the word about Dauntless and be like, oh yeah, this is the cool game, it kind of fell off, but now they have this huge new update and hopefully get more people into it.
Oh, for sure,
they need
totally.
that, they really do.
They really need a pick-me-up after the infamous Fae Farm
Yeah, that was...
incident. We'll talk, yeah. So,
Oof.
aye, good old Fae Farm. But I mean, here's hoping. I think a lot of people that have been out the loop of Dauntless are quite confused over what this update actually is. But hopefully, with new players coming in, apparently they're not going to be advertising this very much. This is, as they say, for the players. I remember Kazakh stating in one of the dev leaks that they're not going to pour much money into advertising at all. This update is purely going to be like an internal upgrade for existing players, which is surprising. But hopefully, big companies like IGN and GameSpot and all these companies jump in and advertise it for them. And hopefully the tweaks are enough to bring in new players.
Yeah, I hope they because I remember, I think I have a very faint memory of a YouTuber called The Rad Brad.
I remember him, yeah.
I think he did a video of Dauntless. I used to watch him like all the time. I still do on and off. But I'm pretty sure he did an hour-long video of the initial Dauntless. I think it was maybe the beta. I can't really remember specifically. But I really hope they like pick some like current content creators to actually advertise for them, because then they can do it for free.
Yeah,
they don't have to pay anyone, extortionate amounts of money to, do one video and then never touch it ever again, which sometimes unfortunately happens with these kind of games. So I think they did actually open the Dauntless partner program. I think they opened it last year. But they haven't really said anything if they've actually closed applications or anything. So I hope that they're actually going to refresh the partner program as well.
Here's hoping. Nice. Yeah, because if you go into the Dauntless store, you can click on supporting partners, and I think there's about 4 channels left on that. So there's really not a lot of Dauntless partners right now, and that is key to success these days, isn't it?
That's just passive income for them as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess focusing, I know you're mainly a Nintendo Switch yourself, and that's primarily the console I play on as well. So obviously I'll be dusting off the old PC and upgrading my drivers to play this new beta. But it's interesting because they're not going to be sharing everything with this closed beta. There's going to be things I reckon they're going to. There are things they're going to be hiding, like Crudge. Crudge isn't going to be launching until the update actually launches. So you wonder if the UI, the legendary behemoths, that new hunting ground island, the rumoured pets, all these kind of things, you wonder what they might show and what they might choose not to show.
So I think they probably focus on the hunting grounds. Like, play it safe with like the new I was going to say Twilight Forest, that's not the right word. The new Umbral hunting grounds, maybe the weapon swapping. Maybe start off small. Maybe the UI actually. The UI will probably be
Twilight Domain. Twilight Domain. I had to look at my notes from the last podcast.
I completely forgot the name of it. But yeah, I think start off small. Give us a little taste of it, but don't ruin it. Basically, kind of keep. I hope they keep their cards close to chest with that one. But yeah, and also maybe even the pursuits.
Oh,
like
yeah.
refresh the pursuits and give them like the pursuits, the hunting grounds, weapon swapping, stuff like that. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been, the new map and fauna and all the new quests and things like that. I think possibly they'll share some of that quests. You wonder if they'd keep to a minimum, because obviously they don't want people diving in. It's no, but then again, maybe they want people to share the new quests and show off the new quest systems that they're going to have.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Yeah, I'm not too sure what we will see and what we won't see, but either way, that's exciting.
Very.
Yeah. So I won't go on about the beta too much, because that's coming. We're going to be talking a lot about that in the coming weeks, in the coming months, and then hopefully the game actually launches in November when it's projected to. But I found some other interesting things to talk about. But before that, the last few podcast episodes I've done Q&As, and they've been quite a success actually. I've quite enjoyed doing them, and I figured this would be a good time to dive right into those. So I've had some responses here and there, and I think it'd be good to answer them. So a good few on YouTube. I've got old reliable people who seem to answer all the time, which is brilliant. Just jump onto my community feed. Right, yeah, so I posted on YouTube community and on X a few questions for the Q&A, and this would be your chance to be featured on the show. So, if I'm selected for the closed beta, what would you like to share? That would be question 1. Question 2, since the leak, we haven't had any confirmation of pets. Do you still believe they're coming? Because they haven't actually officially talked about that yet.
Yeah.
So, and the third question is, what outlandish and unlikely new addition would you like to see with this update? And firstly, I think I'll fire those questions off to you, because I think I'd love to hear your opinion. So, I mean, obviously the closed beta, but I mean, what would you like to see the most from the closed beta, I guess?
I think the pursuits, definitely,
Yeah.
and the Twilight... Why do I keep saying Twilight Forest for all the hunting grounds?
Yeah.
Where's
Twilight
from?
Twilight
That is-
Domain. I know Twilight
Yeah.
Forest from something as well.
Yeah, I have it in my head for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, the pursuits and the Umbral hunting grounds, definitely. The Twilight Domain.
Good. And
I just want to run through it and see the specifically the traversal of the Twilight Domain.
yes.
Because I'm frankly just bored of the Radiant Escalation traversal, so I really need something new and exciting. Like, I want to use my glider, I want to jump, I want to, use the little Aether, what's it called? Aether launchers that are in Ramsgate. I want to use those.
Ether vents, yeah, that's it. Ether launchers, Ether vents.
Yeah, Aether vents, that's it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. You want to stay and slay and explore an island which isn't the same one that you've already explored a million times.
Exactly, yeah. It's like what you said, I think you said it last podcast, you were like, they basically copied and pasted from different pursuits and hunting grounds, and kind of, you can clearly see like where they've copied and pasted and kind of rotated things.
Yeah,
So it's gonna
slightly
be nice
different
to
colour
see.
palette.
Yeah, exactly. And Brightwood is the one I always think about. Like, Brightwood is literally just copy and pasted everywhere.
There's
like the
40
waterfalls, the
Brightwoods.
pools of water. Literally.
Yeah.
So I really want them to do that as well.
Well, I think the fact that
yeah.
they're doing away with a good few islands. Obviously, we talked about that quite a lot in the last episode. You wonder, maybe there won't be entirely new islands, but maybe they'll tidy up or edit some of the existing ones a little bit. So maybe there'll be changes to a few of the islands rather than just the addition of this one, which would be interesting. Yeah.
I hope you get new NPCs or like existing NPCs on those islands as well. Like,
I think I remember them saying. Yeah, I think they said they were going to do that. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
So the second question, the old pets, something we've talked about many times before, which they haven't officially shared, but it's a given. It's been leaked, it's been speculated, it's almost confirmed, but it hasn't been officially. What do you think? Do you think we'll see them?
I don't think so. Actually, no. I forgot to mention the flora and the fauna
Of course, yeah.
in the new pursuits. So I hope they tease that as well in the closed beta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna show us pets. I'm just crossing my fingers that Pets doesn't end up like sky fishing.
Yeah.
I hope they don't just tease it and not release it, because I'm still one of those people that I want sky fishing. Like, I just want to listen to a podcast and just do some sky fishing in Dauntless. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
You got rid of the activities in Ramsgate. At least let me have something to do, like other than hunting grounds and the training grounds.
Maybe that would be a good answer for the third question then. The outlandish and unlikely new addition you would like to see.
Sky fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely sky fishing. Or actually, you know what? As well, I've just seen. I have the your Twitter thread open, and I actually like what Phoenix Archie has said.
Oh,
I would like to see any changes to Ramsgate, because I'm bored of the usual sites. I would also like to see new quests and other new islands. Like, I can't tell you. Like, I know this is gonna sound really bad, right? But one of the only reasons I do Gauntlet is to see old Ramsgate and just to run around on Ramsgate. Like, I miss old Ramsgate so much. Like, running through the corridors and seeing all the NPCs and I miss it so much.
That doesn't sound bad at all, because I also miss it. I think old Ramsgate, it was more. I feel like new Ramsgate kind of feels a little bit like going to Disneyland. It's like a theme park, you know. It's kind of ridiculous looking in some areas. Not to mention we've been at the same location for many years and we're kind of sick of it. The same kind of soundtrack, and yeah, I do the same sometimes, and I do miss old Ramsgate. It probably wasn't better. We're probably just nostalgic, but at the same time, yeah, I miss it.
Yeah, same here.
I think there will be changes though, because I'll get into it in a little while, and we've talked about it in the past about some changes that are definitely coming. So there is things on the horizon by the sounds of it, for changes to Ramsgate. Okay, so go back to who was it? There it is. I mean, in terms of my answers, obviously I think with the closed beta and what I'd like to see, I think I definitely want to see the new any changes to the hunting grounds and additions of questing and NPCs and things like that. Weapon swapping's starting to grow on me a little bit. I'm
Really?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm starting to kind of some of these combos and things like that. I think are starting to interest me a little bit. Changes to Ramsgate is another thing. Definitely, these are things I'd like to see. And yeah, I do think the pets will come, but I don't think we'll see them in the closed beta. I think that'll be something that launches with the game. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And outlandish, a guild hall, something like that. I've heard a lot of people say.
Of course, the guild.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like in Warframe and all these other kind of MMO style games, you know, a guild hall, something like that, something you can edit and unlock things for. We're not going to see that. I think they've basically said many times that it's not going to happen, but I'd love to see that. So.
That'd be cool, actually. I've completely forgot about guild as well. Yeah. Except from like the little icon on the world map. That would be nice to actually walk into somewhere we can see like the top 10 guilds or something like that. Yeah. So, answers that we've got here. RT2001, who I don't think has actually answered any of the questions before, so this is a newcomer. They've only answered the third question. They say, I remember them hint a manga. Oh yeah, I remember this. A manga or a comic for Dauntless many years ago. That would be so cool. Maybe one day. I have heard about this a few times. I don't think they're going to be doing it, but that would be awesome. That would be cool, yeah.
Newts91 says, if you get in the beta, I want to see some combos from weapon swapping. There you go. We could have see that tavern upgrade that we talked about in the last episode.
Yeah, definitely.
And new additions to islands and Ramsgate. Yeah. They'd also they believe that yes, definitely the pets are coming, no doubt. Maybe see them in the beta, maybe not. And the third question, new addition, sky fishing. There you go, as promised in the past.
Yep.
Or maybe bring back the Ramsgate racing.
Yes. We need something in Ramsgate. Like, I don't even know why they took that way. Even if people aren't using it, it's still nice to just like race random people.
I like these. I like the casual answers. You'll get people that will say like, I want 4 million wound damage from my weapon upgrade, and then you get people like, I want to do some fishing.
Yeah.
I like that. That's nice. Oliver Jackson 842, who has answered every podcast I put Q&As up, they have answered every time, and they always have brilliant answers. They state, I would like to see how many weapons there are and the new weapon system, since I'm confused on what it's going to be like. Yeah, me too. I would also like to see cool stuff with the weapon swap.
Yeah, and the redesigned weapons as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Can be like new skins and stuff, so that'd be interesting too.
Yeah, for sure. One last one on YouTube. It's just someone stating, I hope if Plays Behemoth will become better. I hope if Plays Behemoth will become better. I'm not too sure. I mean, I know they're going to be upgrading, hitboxes and weapon Behemoth behaviours. If you mean that, then hopefully we see that, because they have promised that. So.
As well as the environmental effects of Behemoth as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
So I think the only other answers are Phoenix Artea, who's answered multiple times before as well, over on X. I would like to see changes in Ramsgate, as you've already talked about that one, as I'm bored of the usual sites. I would also like to see new quests and new islands, which is very relatable. I totally agree with that. I think the pets are coming, but strange they haven't mentioned it properly, and they wonder if they'll see that in the beta. And another great answer, player housing or guild halls. There you go. See?
Oh yeah, I don't know if Phoenix Lab discussed it, but was it the community that suggested player houses and stuff? I've seen that floating around lots of different communities and stuff.
It'd be awesome, but I mean, you just imagine they wouldn't have the resources to even look into that, but you never know. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe just for the guilds then. If it's not for individual players, maybe the guild can have or guilds can have their own places, own bases and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, that would probably be an easier option for them, but we'll see. You never know.
Yeah.
So from here, I figured the best way to kind of fill up this podcast with interesting topics was to look at some of the older dev leaks and talk about some of the interesting little details, which I haven't actually talked about so far. And two, I was looking on Reddit whilst I was scrolling looking for these dev leaks, and I found just some people raising some really good topics, and I think sharing what they've stated would make for a really good discussion as well. So if that's alright with you.
Yeah, sure.
So, first of all, I just have to bear with me till I find it. Okay, so I'll share a little link, Shireen, into the Discord, and it shows the new intro screen. The new, how we've got that Alira, and it's, it plays the Dauntless theme.
Yeah.
So this one provides an update onto what they have planned, and there's a little video there. I'll just let you click in and check it out. Other than that video, really, there wasn't really anything really interesting that I haven't spoken about before, apart from kind of talent systems.
I love that new background. I made that my wallpaper now, my desktop wallpaper.
It's cool, eh?
My Steam Deck. It's so cool. Okay. Yeah, it's much cleaner, definitely.
I mean, they haven't updated the UI at the end of that video, but you can see like the training grounds, because the training grounds are now going to be changed because of obviously the new weapons, but also apparently when they do away with some of the islands, the Emberthorn Cove, I think it is, the very first, the weakest hunting ground island, is going to be paired with the training grounds, so that's now going to be a training grounds island as well, so there's going to be changes there as well. Which makes sense, because that island, I mean, come on, it's atrocious, it sucks. So.
Well, you say that, but it's really good for frostful gifts, excuse me.
That's true.
That is the best island, oh my gosh.
I guess, and also collect, bounty rewards, I guess. If you need to slay 8 behemoths, you can do it in about 3 seconds on that island, so yes,
exactly.
That's one of the benefits.
The ultimate cheese island.
Pretty much. So, not, it's not mind blowing, but what do you think about the new intro screen?
It's better than we have now. Like, I think you said it in your last podcast. Like, I'm also fed up of seeing Alira.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I was so disappointed with all that stuff. I'm gonna be honest. Like
Yeah.
the Radiant escalation, the Alira, it was just so underwhelming. So I'm
Yeah.
really fed up of seeing it.
I have
I
to
can't wait
agree.
to see something different. So yeah, I'm just.
Mhm.
I feel so bad for saying it. Like, I wanted them to do something different with the traversal, especially because we had the different traversal in the Umgrel escalations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
fair to say Radiant is my least favourite element to use and to fight against. It just doesn't do it for
yeah.
me. The escalation, it's not my least favourite, but it's not my favourite either. I like the Chronovore, but
Mhm.
other than that, I can't really think of a Radiant Behemoth that I actually like. And I think Alira's probably my
True.
least favourite Behemoth in the game. So yeah.
Mhm. Oh, I do like the Radiant Boreas. That one's really good. That has like
Oh,
completely
fair
different
enough. Yeah,
movesets as
yeah,
well
that's
since the
true.
Ice one.
Hmm.
That's probably the actually no, and
We talked
the
to this.
Radiant Koshai as
Yeah.
well. Those two, love those two, but everything else, yeah,
You're making me doubt
pretty
what I just
underwhelming.
said there as well. Totally doubt what I just said. Yeah, because and then there's yeah, okay.
And the what's the war pike? I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, God
The
hand, God hand.
That's it, the God
Yeah.
Hand, yeah.
Hmm.
So the Radiant Boreas, Radiant Koshai, and the God
Yeah.
Hand, the best parts of the Radiant
It sounds pretty good now,
element
doesn't
in
it?
the game. Yeah.
There's another one I like as well. It's just out of my head just now. Oh, Valamir. I don't mind the Valamir. It's not horrendous.
Mhm.
Maybe I just,
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Maybe it's just Alira. Maybe it's just that. It's put me off
Yeah,
Radiant.
I don't know if it was. I think was it your video or my video? Someone commented like, "Oh, Vladimir is so bad," and someone else commented underneath, "But it's really good for cutting your teeth on." It's like, yeah, it's actually really good, like to learn like dodging and to learn staggering and stuff.
I think it was
Vladimir's
one
really
of your
good for that
videos. I
stuff.
remember you saying that when we spoke in the past, actually. So there you go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Shout out to that person who said that
Yeah,
comment.
shout out to whoever you are. We're not going far because I'm not going to dive into the details. One, because we don't have the time and it's all information we've talked about before. But if you scroll all the way at the bottom, almost the bottom, just above the PlayStation controller bindings image, we have another sneak peek at one of the new flares, because there hasn't been a flare for a very long time. With Kazakh's basically confirmed that the new hunt pass is going to be a deep sea hunt pass, so we've now had a leak of several items and there's a new flare and it's pretty cool. I have to say, it looks like what's his face out of Pirates of the Caribbean, what's his name
I
again?
was just about to say that as well. Yeah.
Captain, what's his name again? I can't remember.
Barbosa.
Barbosa, is it? But yeah,
No,
no, that's the
no, it's
Captain the
can't
Flying
remember it.
Dutchman. What's his name?
Yeah.
Davy Jones. No,
I can't remember his
is
name.
it Davy Jones?
David Jones. Yes,
Is
that's
it?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
David Jones.
There
David
we go.
Jones,
We
there
got
you
there. It's a joint effort. We managed to get there.
Really cool.
That's pretty
And I've
cool.
heard people speculate that there's going to be like a water element in the game. It's just like, I don't know. I think that's a bit far stretch for me, to be honest. Yeah.
It'd be nice to see, but another element probably. Probably not, but
Yeah.
you never know. You never know. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
as I said in the last episode, the new behemoth. So that obviously we know Crudge is coming, but they've leaked information about the behemoth coming after Crudge, and the only thing they've stated is that it is a she behemoth.
Yeah.
So the first behemoth with a gender, which would have aligned nicely with this deep sea hunt pass, because when you think of the ocean, when you think of a ship, when you think of Mother Nature, you think of a she. So, but I don't think those two will coincide. But it's just interesting. That's all.
Yeah, very. Definitely. I'm
So
looking forward to. I wonder if they'll have the flare in the closed beta, maybe.
you wonder, or maybe they would. I think they would maybe launch that with the actual update. I don't know. How do I know that? That's what I was thinking anyway.
Interesting to see.
Okay, so moving on, we have a good look at the UI, and I'll just send another wee link into the Discord. Usually I'm better prepared than this, but life's been so hectic recently that I'm actually kind of not making it up as I go along. I looked at this before we did this podcast, but you can tell I'm just a little bit less organised than usual. So
That's fine. We all have lives. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
I
completely
know.
understandable. Ooh, it's very quick. It's very responsive.
Yeah, looks good, eh?
At the moment, I don't know what it's like on PC, but loading the inventory can be quite slow on Nintendo
Oh,
Switch.
it's yeah. How
So
many
it's actually
times?
nice to see
Yeah.
it.
How many times you press that start button to get the menu to come up? Oh,
Literally. Do I just press it? Do I hold it? What's going on?
I know.
Then press it, pops up. It's like, oh, okay.
I mean,
So yeah, it's nice to see it's like very snappy and responsive on the video.
if you scroll down, if you scroll down to the comments on this post, you'll see the first comment from someone called Car Manyan.
Oh yeah, I see it.
I just know the Switch won't be able to run this smoothly at all.
This is the thing, right? This is the thing that like I want to say a word, but I don't know if it pisses me off.
Oh yeah, I don't mind, go for that.
Stuff.
Swear if you want.
Like, people that say this, like, oh, the Switch can't run it. It's not the Switch's fault. It's not the fact that the Switch can't run it. It's the fact that developers don't want to optimize their games for the Nintendo Switch. Okay, I have a perfect example. This is random. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go on a tangent.
No, go on.
Like,
I welcome it.
So I started playing a game called My Time at Porsche. Like, I've got 140 hours into the game. It's just great. It's like a really cool, cozy farming sim, right?
Yeah, I played the sequel of that.
When I tell
Sandrock.
you, the game was terrible on Switch. Like, actually terrible. It crashed all the time. It froze all the time. But it was a cool game to just play after work or whenever you want to just cool down and relax. Literally, it took them 3 years. But I think literally this week they updated the game. It runs like butter. No crashes, no glitches, no freezing. Like, they've increased the loading times, they've made it look nice and smooth in the game. I'm just like, so people can do it. And I've seen it with so many other games as well.
Oh yeah.
It's not the fact that the Switch can't run it, it's the fact that developers just either don't have the resources, the money or the time to actually optimize the games for Nintendo Switch. Another example is Hogwarts Legacy. No one in the world thought that Hogwarts Legacy was going to be able to run on the Nintendo Switch. And somehow Avalanche did it. They managed to do it. Yes, they had to make compromises here and there. I mean, you run across the bridges and they're not... they basically have panels on the bridges. It's a little bit of a loading screen between Hogsmeade and Hogwarts, but it's like, they did it. It runs smooth. It doesn't crash. It doesn't break. It's just like, it can be done. So those comments really annoy me. I'm sorry.
No,
I just had to get that out.
I'm a strong defender of the Switch. I got the Switch
it's
at
so
launch.
annoying.
I'm one of the few people that doesn't actually want the next generation of Switch. I know. I think from
I'm
the
with
leaks
you.
on the leaks on it, it sounds like it's going to be the exact same thing with more power, which is good, which is what I
Yeah.
want. But I'm not really fussed because I still have an enormous, list of games that I haven't completed yet or played yet.
Same here, yeah.
And I've always, I don't know why, I've got a really big interest in games which are optimized for the Switch. Like, I played Doom Eternal only on the Switch. I played, Warframe only on the Switch. Hogwarts Legacy, I've only played it on the Switch. Kingdom Come Deliverance. You're playing downgraded versions, but they're incredible games, and the fact that you're playing them on the handheld console is incredible. We've went way off topic, but it's just...
I'm sorry, I took
No,
us there. I just had to,
not at all, not
there's
at
so
all.
many people, like, even since launch. I mean, obviously, yeah, Nintendo do, like, cut corners a little bit, and they use old technology, but that's no, like, if you don't have a Switch, like, and I honestly, I don't know. I feel like 50% of the people that say that stuff don't actually own a Switch. They just say it because they've heard it on the internet somewhere.
I think it's
And
easy to
people
say.
that say it when there's... Sorry.
No, it's just what you're saying. It's easy to say that, but if you own one, if you've actually played it, I use it as a primary console now because it suits my life, and
Yeah.
I have as much enjoyment playing games on that as I would on an Xbox or a PC. So
Yeah, just find the right games. It's not just Nintendo games either. It's not just Pokemon games. It's
No.
not just like Mario games. There's plenty of games on Switch that play well.
For
you know.
sure.
Just give it a chance.
Definitely. Well, the video that
Leave it
came
alone.
Yeah, I know. Leave me alone. The video that kind of my first, I'm not going to use, I am going to use the term, but I use it lightly. But the first viral video I had, so obviously I started this channel, COVID pandemic, and I started off okay actually because everyone was sitting in front of their computers, so I think the numbers in general were just a bit higher. So the first video I ever did was Vigor on Switch, which is like, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's kind of like, how do I explain it? you get dropped into these maps and you have to gather as much loot as you can, and whilst you're kind of hunting other online players. It's a very good game. It's optimised okay. That was one of the first videos I did, and then I released an Ark Survival Evolved video, and I don't know if you've heard about Ark Survival Evolved on the Switch.
I have. I want to get that game. I have it. I think I have it in my Steam library, just haven't installed it because it's so big. It's too big for the Steam Deck.
Well,
it's like over 100 gig, isn't it?
it's enormous. Well, on the Switch it's about 12 gigs, so it's so much smaller. When the game came out, it was atrocious. It's kind of a bit of, it's like a meme now. It's when you think of bad ports on Switch, you talk about Ark Survival Evolved. However, despite that, I put in about 600 hours into the game, and then did an analysis video on YouTube, and I think it hit like 30 to 40,000 views, which was enormous for me, and it brought in quite a lot of subscribers. However, years later, just out of nowhere, they didn't mention it, they didn't talk about it, there was no, the game was almost abandoned because the servers were so low on players. They just updated the game, and it is incredible now. The Switch port of Ark is so good. Like, it is, I wouldn't go as far as saying beautiful, but considering you're playing on servers with 60 odd people on these huge detailed world on next generation graphics, it's incredible. So it just shows you they took the time in the background, fixed it, and now no one can laugh at them because it's a really good game on the Switch. So anyway, what were we talking about? Can't remember.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm just completely sidetracked.
Oh yeah. Someone saying it won't run on a Switch.
That's it on Reddit.
Yeah, maybe they're right. No. I think if they put the time into the game, if they actually put the time and effort, then of course it'll run. It's not going to be as good. It's not going to be as smooth.
No.
The next generation of Switch is coming out anyway, probably next year.
Yeah.
So they're going to be dropping support for old consoles one day anyway. So, but no, I think it will work. I think it will. I think we would have heard by now if it wasn't going to launch on Switch. I'm sure we would have.
Yeah.
So this UI. It's so smooth. It's lovely. I mean, it gives you an idea of how sleek it's going to look. You get a look at where the transmog options are, where your weapon talents are, all your slots. The new badges look pretty cool because the current Dauntless badges aren't great. Even if you've reforged 100 odd times, they're not that exciting.
True. Yeah.
It's pretty nice. I like it.
I do wonder about something on the UI. At the moment, when you go into your inventory and you hover over any equipment or anything, the little pop-up thing comes up. Right. I don't know the technical term for them. I hate those so much. I really hope there's an option to turn them all off.
Because you have to go all the way to the bottom to your flasks to get rid of them, so you can actually see your character. And I do that as well. It's quite annoying.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's this option in settings or something to turn off all the little, I don't even know what they're called, but it's little information things that tell you everything about the weapon and the armor that you're using. Just
I think
if you're
I think pop-ups is fitting. I think that's close enough. That would probably do it.
Turn those off.
No, it looks good. I'm happy they're changing the UI. I think if it's very loud car passing. I live right in the city centre, so it's quite noisy. So I think. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. I think it looks great. It's a huge improvement, much more modern looking.
I do miss the background though. To be fair, I do miss the forge background, like the blur background. I'm a big advocate for colour. It just gets kind of boring to me, but it is good though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of boring. I'm kind of minimalist. I think, I spent all my life playing Skyrim, and the UI for that is so bleak, So I think that's why I quite like it. I don't know. It's just minimal, but I can imagine it's not gonna, everyone's gonna like it. But I'm quite happy with it. So on this page, if you scroll past the person who said obviously that it's not going to launch on Switch, Marble Knitter in the comment section has shared that screenshot, which I've talked about a few times. I think I've talked about it in a podcast. I shared it with you. In fact, when I seen it, I got that excited. I actually messaged you with a screenshot of it because I was like, "Oh my god, look at this! This is so cool." Changes to Ramsgate. This is one of them.
Yeah. That looks really cool, especially with that corridor. I can see the light of the sky through that corridor. That looks cool.
Yeah.
It's very atmospheric as well. Does that mean that Catherine is in the tavern, or is she in like a different area?
Looks like it. I mean, like a lot of people in the comment section for that leak thought that this was the building behind where Catsarel currently stands, because she stands to the left of the tavern.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But it's got the Broken Blade emblem on it, so it's definitely the tavern. The tavern's called the Broken Blade, so it's inside the tavern. So it looks like they're just changing the tavern to an interior cell, not an interior cell, but an interior location, which looks pretty badass. I like it. I really like it, actually.
Yeah. That reminds me of World of Warcraft, when you would go into a tavern and
Same.
hit your spawn or buy stuff. Yeah. It's kind of cool.
And it will actually serve a purpose, the tavern, now, because right now you go in, there's, apart from, as I said in the last podcast, I'm going to be moving home because this is where I broadcast the podcast from. There's no purpose, so it's purely cosmetic.
Yeah.
So it looks like it might actually serve a purpose, because you've got Catsarel who's going to be dishing out quests, and maybe there's something else, who knows?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Can you think of anything else like this you'd maybe like to see in Ramsgate? Putting you on the spot here.
In Ramsgate.
Or
actually,
out in the hunting grounds, anywhere.
Maybe, oh my gosh, I forgot her name. The person you get the gauntlet crest from, Priani? Dr. Priani?
Dr. Priani, yeah.
I wanted to see her have a base. Like, I want to see like more about her character.
Yeah.
Or she's just like a long lore history in the game. She's always like making stuff. She's kind of like the female version of Arkandrew, which is kind of like constantly researching and developing different things. So we got kind of cool to see her have her own place in Ramsgate, I think.
Yeah, she seems like a really
everyone else has
character.
one. Like even Zayla has a tree. So at least it's Dr. Priani something.
Zayla has a tree.
Yeah.
She does. Yeah, she does. Yeah, I agree. I think that would be pretty cool. And then, like we have that orb or ball, I forget the name of it, next to Priani, which you can play, and it shows you obviously the animation for what happened to Old Ramsgate. It'd be nice if you had, like a library, and you could see different things that have like past events and little videos that play of things that have happened in the past. That'd be quite exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly. Yeah.
But maybe that's more the outlandish stuff. I mean, but I mean, who would have thought we'd have an interior of the tavern? So who knows what's coming? This is. I think that's what got me so excited. Not because of what it is. It's because it's just so random. So what else is there going to be? So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And,
it's intriguing.
and as Swift and Deadly said in the last episode, who cares about the helmet that they're actually trying to show you? It's the background that actually counts.
Yeah, exactly. Very true.
Yeah. So I think in terms of new information, that's about as much as I'm really going to dive into, because there's not much else. There's basic stats, there's basic tweaks, there's little things here and there, but everything, they've stopped Elite Fridays, so now we've got the closed beta to look forward to, and that's where we're going to get all our information from now. So essentially YouTube, Twitch, these places are now Reddit. That's where we're going to get our information. So yeah, that's quite exciting. So I guess the only other thing really left to talk about is some of these subjects that people brought up on Reddit. And they're quite good points, and I think this is something I might continue as a trend in future podcasts, just leaving a little section to talk about good things, good subjects that are brought up on Reddit.
Yeah.
Because there's some really interesting topics, and some things turn out to be true eventually, and some things turn out to be absolute nonsense, but it's yeah. So someone called Puzzled Bid shared 2 days ago, and I think they say Reforged, but I think they mean Awakening. I think they got a little bit confused. They've said, if Reforged doesn't meet players' expectations, should the devs leave the game and make a sequel in a few years, or just continue? And they said this because I was really thinking of them and just starting from scratch, trying to rebrand the game and genuinely listen to the community feedback on a sequel. I feel like if they continue to update the game, they could return to a resemblance of its former glory, or even surpass it. If the Reforge update doesn't get enough players for the work that they've done, and it's just a huge waste of time, they might want to hit the restart button. Quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. I could definitely see like obviously I don't want to say it out loud. Like I do want it to succeed, but it would be interesting to see Dauntless as a single player game and what they could possibly do with that.
You've just touched on the second thing I'm going to bring up. Actually, that's exactly what the second topic is.
So I'm just thinking, like, Phoenix Labs have already tried it with Faith Arm, so why not try it with Dauntless? You know, like,
I mean,
do a sequel / spin-off kind of thing.
I mean, my thoughts are that this is make or break for them. I mean, you look at what they're dealing with. You know, I'm not going to say Faith Farm is a failure because I'm sure it was a lovely game. And I hope a lot of people enjoyed it, and I know a lot of devs poured their heart and souls in there. But you look at what they've been dealing with as a dev company, as are many dev companies just now, apart from the big boys.
Yeah.
But do they have the resources for a sequel? You know,
it's true.
So this, I think, would maybe only see Dauntless 2 if this was a success, not if it was a failure.
Yeah, and I just had another thought as well. Like, if they really wanted, you know, if this whole thing like went down in flames, like what they could do is they could do what Warframe did and just turn the whole game into a single player game. Like, Warframe was a complete disaster, basically, from launch. Mainly because of their publisher. Their publisher told them to do certain things and they didn't like it. And then the developers and publishers separated, and now people love it. It's got like really positive reviews on Steam.
What's incredible?
I'm just like, you know what? That's one way to go. Take all the free-to-play stuff out, make it a paid game, and do that.
Yeah, I've got another example. Temtem, which we talked about not too long ago. Temtem was originally advertised as like a Pokemon MMO. Well, obviously they never used Pokemon, but it was a monster catching MMO. And it's such a good game. It's an incredible game, but due to the nature of a Pokemon game, you know, you need a lot of money, a lot of resources to be adding to that, because once you complete, so say you're playing Pokemon Red, once you've completed Kanto, you know, you're basically shiny hunting, and you've not really got much else to do apart from maybe the PvP side. And that's where the game kind of hit a brick wall. Once players were completing the main quest, getting their shinies, dominating the PvP boards, there was nothing left to do. So what they've done is, instead of, they're now not advertising their game as an MMO, they're advertising it as an online monster catching game, and they've now dropped all that you can't buy anything in the game anymore. Everything's unlocked through in-game in-game completion, and you. What was I going to say? And there's going to be no new additions to the game in any way whatsoever, apart from maybe tweaks here and there. So now the game is essentially left to the players to survive now, and it's actually better now than it was.
Yeah, I kind of remember of a recent game, the Harry Potter Quidditch game as well. They kind of went that route as well. It's
I remember that.
Yeah, it's like a paid MMO basically. You buy the game and then you don't buy anything in the actual game. There's no microtransactions. Everything is, you can unlock things in the game and then use that currency to buy whatever you want in the game, which is actually it's a really good way to do it, to be honest. Getting around the whole, taking away the whole negative connotations of free to play.
Exactly. And I mean,
that way you actually make money from the game as well.
And that would probably make sense for a game like Dauntless. Like, let's be honest, whether this is a success or not, Dauntless one day will shut down. It's not going to be around forever.
Yeah.
However, if they can sell just enough to keep the servers up and leave the game in a good state for the players, I think that would be quite nice. But yeah, I think there's not going to be a Dauntless 2 if this fails, in my opinion. That's just the way I feel.
No.
So the last thing, and you already kind of touched on it, was someone on Reddit sharing, and don't worry, we're getting there. I think this will make this the last topic to discuss. So thank you for sticking with me this long. It's nearly an hour now.
Okay.
If Dauntless made a solo RPG game, would you play it? And this is from Mars in Gatorade, and they shared that almost a month ago. They say, I feel like the idea has potential, but what would you want to see in it? I love fantasy beasts and ecology, so for me, details about them would be important, and I also love to see the combat styles in that setting. Yeah,
definitely. Couldn't agree more. I think it would be a great game.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, maybe even like a dungeon runner kind of thing. Turn the pursuits into like dungeons and have like smaller behemoths. Basically like an escalation, really, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
like single player escalations where there's no microtransactions. You pay for the game, everything in game. You unlock in game currency, just like the Harry Potter Quidditch game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could work, definitely. But obviously, again, it's down to resources and time
Yeah.
and money.
And it's a tricky. I mean,
But that way you wouldn't have to worry about servers. So
that's true.
there's
Yeah,
that.
that's another route they could go down. And some games, I can't think of any on the top of my head, but some games have went down that route of making the game single player and bringing it offline. There's a few. I can't think of an example at the top of my head, but there's a few games that's happened to. I'll be honest. I mean, yeah, if there was a Dauntless game that was made as a solo RPG, I would like the idea of that. However, Dauntless as it is just now, I don't think I would enjoy solo. I think it would feel empty.
No.
I think the online community and all that kind of stuff it's just it'd be too much of a loss.
Yeah, I think so too. Definitely. It's a nice idea though, but yeah, at the moment, nope.
Nope. Yeah, I agree. Well, that is everything. I think that I've taken every little bit of information that I can. This is episode 9 for the Dauntless discussion. That basically I have taken as much information from Reddit, from YouTube, from the Dauntless. From Dauntless websites, everything I've collected as much information as I can since they first announced this update, and it's now coming. It's coming in the very near future. I've ran out of things to talk about as far as pre-awakening information goes. I've tried my best. I really have. I've tried my best. And now we're about to jump into Awakening in the very near future. And I'm really grateful to ShireenPlays, Shireen's wonderful channel, our wonderful enthusiasm, joining me, as well as all the others who have joined me, on this journey that I started over a year ago. Swift and Deadly, Geo Era, Eyes Fluffy, Phoenix Arteo, all the people that have been on the channel so far. It means a lot. So thank you so far. This podcast is going to continue. I plan on continuing it right into the future. However, I think I'll feel a lot of nostalgia for this time.
Yeah, definitely.
More speculation rather than actual content coming. It's been a very weird time, but I'm very glad to have been a part of it. So thank you, Shireen, for joining me for this specific episode, and thanks to everyone else for joining for past episodes.
Thank you as well. I wanted to say as well, like, it's actually nice to have somewhere to go to talk about Dauntless, because I remember, like, when Dauntless was really popular, watching, like, people like Odo, and all those kind of people, and be like, and was it M Trails, I think his name was?
Yeah, Mr. Trails.
Like, I would really like to collab with them and whatever. They were so huge, that's the thing.
Yeah,
so it's actually nice for us to have a place like your podcast, so we can actually talk about this stuff and actually feel like we are actually part of the community.
Which we are.
It's actually really nice.
Yeah, definitely we are.
Yeah,
we're fighting for this community.
Yeah, so a big thank you to you for giving us this platform.
Thank you, appreciate it. So that is everything I have to talk about, as I've stated. Go and check out ShireenPlays' channel. ShireenPlays covers a lot of gaming content. She also has an indie channel for indie related gaming content. Wonderful content. Get over there, check it out, subscribe, like, and that is everything. Until next time, see you later.